time has come to once again answer life's most savory question.
Here we go.
Whose cuisine reigns supreme?
Tell you about it later.
This is Iron Chef America.
In mere moments, one Iron Chef will be pitted against our challenger, who thirsts to discover our secret ingredient and enter the heat of battle here in Kitchen Stadium. Today's challenger was born and raised in Mexico City and showed an early interest in classic Mexican cuisine.
My culinary background is using French techniques with Latin and Mexican ingredients.
He moved to the U.S. to attend the French Culinary Institute in New York City and is currently chef-owner of Toloache in Manhattan.
My food says about me having a strong personality with bold flavors and a lot of big spices. Once you have a bite, you know all about me. I'm ready for whatever the chairman throws at me.
The chairman welcomes Chef Julian Medina.
Chef Medina, welcome. Your restaurant, Toloache, is the name of an aromatic plant in Mexico. When you depart Kitchen Stadium, will you leave smelling like a rose or the yellow skunk cabbage?
I'll be smelling like a rose.
Well said. Tell me, which Iron Chef will you stomp like a grape?
Because our similar styles of cooking, I'll pick Iron Chef Garces.
A decisive decision. And now, the battle begins!
So, our challenger will test the mettle of his Mexican cuisine against our Iron Chef's mastery of Latin American flavors. This should be a spicy matchup.
But there is one more ingredient to this battle. Our secret ingredient. The theme on which our chefs will offer their succulent variations. Today's secret ingredient is... Mexican chocolate!
Wow. Great.
So now, America, with an open heart and empty stomach, I say unto you in the words of my uncle,
Mexican versions of chocolate. Of course, Mexican chocolate is white and grainy. Nothing really in this chocolate but dark roasted cocoa nibs ground up with typically cane sugar and cinnamon. It is never conched. That is, it is not rolled for days back and forth between giant metal or stone cylinders, creating that smooth melt-in-mouth texture that we typically think of chocolate.
Okay, meeting, guys. Huddle up. All right. So, Jess, you'll make the waffle. Let's do our spiced donuts with the atole.
We should do scallops. It goes well with chocolate, black hot.
Make the chocolate linguine. I got the wild boar and the tamal.
Then I'm gonna use the pressure cooker with pork belly. All right, you make the dessert. Don't forget the chocolate chips, okay? All right.
Go for it, guys.
Now, we have two varieties of Mexican chocolate taking three distinct forms. These little balls, like big chocolate-covered almonds, that's the most rustic form of chocolate in Mexico, made all over by individuals, little private mills, where this product is kind of rolled up into little balls and left to dry.
Cocoa powder, anybody need it?
Yeah, it's me.
We also have a kind of little patty form that is essentially the same type of chocolate. And then we have another distinct patty form, these discs, that has round almonds in it. Got some pork butt out on Chef Medina's board, and he's already placed into the pressure cooker a little bit of garlic and some plum tomatoes. So that shoulder with its heavy ratio of connective tissue will definitely be going into that pressure cooker. And his other sous chef, JC, let's see, he's got a pot with pineapple, onions, tomatoes, some chili, and of course the Mexican chocolate. for the world. We can see some of that chocolate. That's the chocolate without the almonds. I don't know what kind of chili that is that went on top of that pork.
Dried chipotle and pasilla.
All right, so it's dried chipotle and pasillas. Thank you, Chef. Sous Chef Jessica looks like she's going to be responsible for processing a lot of that chocolate down to whatever forms they're going to be used in, and some of that chocolate with the almonds going into the food processor right now. Over on the challenger side, Chef Medina is gathering up both the patty forms of the Mexican chocolate. He's putting that on a side towel. I imagine that what he's going to do is, well, he's going to smash the living bejeebers out of it. Now, that's a technique you can try at home with any skill in a towel. Just, you know, make sure the neighbors are already awake when you do it. Now, kids, that is what freshly beaten Mexican chocolate looks like. There it is. Outside of the world, his sous chef Jessica is finally grating some Mexican chocolate directly into a pot. That's a mixture of some masa harina, polenta, a little bit of milk cream. Maybe that is the atole the Iron Chef mentioned. It's a masa-based drink, traditional to Latin America. Mixed, melted, mashed, and smashed here in Kitchen Stadium as challenger Chef Julian Medina takes on Iron Chef Jose Garces. The heat is on here in Kitchen Stadium. We will get back over on the challenger side. He's made a Mexican chocolate masa dough, and he's formed it into...
First up, he's a hard-working actor whose face is familiar to fans of Family Feud and Seinfeld. This is John O'Hurley. Next, she's the founder and president of KB Network News, a firm specializing in hospitality, public relations, and media consulting. She is Karine Bakoum. Our next two judges are a package deal. At their factory in Brooklyn, New York, they handcraft chocolate. These are the founders and owners of Mast Brothers Chocolate, Michael Mast and his brother Rick Mast.
Thank you, Kevin Brush. Over on the Iron Chef side, sous chef Jessica working actually two similar bowls at one time. Just two ganaches. Of course, the ganache is nothing but melted chocolate and cream. One has got the cinnamon chocolate in it, the other's got the almond in it.
Chocolate based on, Jess?
Yes, Chef.
Thank you.
I'm interested to see what kind of savory dishes they pull off. I've got to admit, I'm pretty excited about the animal crackers, too.
Into the blender. Over on Chef Medina's side, that's what I was calling his mole with the animal crackers. Maybe animal crackers are the key to John O'Hurley's quest for the world's best mole. Just maybe.
35 minutes, guys. 35.
All right, looking over at the Iron Chef side of the world, that chocolate dough, masa dough that he brought together, is going into corn husks in the fashion of a tamale. So he is making chocolate tamales. Plating action happening over on the challenger side. These really beautiful kind of goblets without stems, like little fish bowls.
He's called it a panna cotta mixture that was poured over those little rounds of chocolate.
Oh, the panna cotta. That's...
Yeah, yes.
Okay. The chocolate should balance that nicely. Chef, what's that spice mixture you got going there?
Black pepper, sugar, Mexican chocolate.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to have a sweet and spicy crust on that Iberian pork. Nice. All right, Chef Medina's given a chop to both the almond and regular varieties of Mexican chocolate he has there. It's going into the animal cracker mole that he's been working on almost the whole battle. All right, on the challenger's backstation, we got one of the Mexican chocolate patties being... I'm looking back over on the challenger side now. That pork, the pork that came out of the pressure cooker, he took some of that cooking liquid, he pureed it, went back into the meat in a saute pan, and we see that currently working.
Right behind you.
Thank you.
Sous Chef Tim, rolling one of those chocolate doughs. It's coming together in the form of a pasta. Okay, now that was the chocolate dough that we saw him mix up earlier in the food processor. It's going to be really interesting to see how they plate that with some kind of chocolate sauce, or will it be a traditional pasta sauce?
15 minutes to go.
And we have just 15 minutes left to go in the battle between our challenger, Chef Julian Medina. Let's get back to the action. Let's see on the Iron Chef side. The plating begins with the mole that they made over in the Dutch oven. That's got literally everything in Kitchen Stadium in it, including, of course, Mexican chocolate. Now, the Iron Chef's got one of his duck thighs out on his board right now. He's chopping that up. Now, we saw him put those in the smoker quite early in the battle, and I bet that, well, it's going to go with the savory duck sauce. And, of course, there it goes.
Timmy, talk to me. Pasta?
Coming right now.
Let's go.
So we've got Mexican chocolate in the bun and in the pork. Chef Medina now plating that chocolate cornmeal mixture that he made earlier. That's like a tamale, but without the corn husk. I don't know what's going to be going with that.
¿Ya tienen el panacota o no? Como unos 5 minutos. Dale, güey.
Wow, look at the perfect doneness on that duck. That is exactly what you want to see out of duck skin.
El pato, güey. Y el blanco, sácalo a la verga, güey.
Ya está. Relájate. Tranquilo.
Well, you know, sometimes stress can get the best of you here in Kitchen Stadium. It can happen to anybody. Looks like that scallop has landed on the tamale concoction, and It's getting dressed with the bacon pico de gallo. Nice. The scallops should be a really nice vessel for the sweet and smoky flavors in there. All right, that makes sense. The Iron Chef's now adding some chocolate ganache to his ground Wagyu beef and to his chopped beets. I can't wait to see how that ends up. The tamale's being opened up over on the Iron Chef's side. Maybe that'll go with the pork. Going into some little metal rings are the beets that were cooked early on in the battle. I think that is going to be served with the Kobe beef. 2 rings, 1 for the beef, 1 for the beets. We're going to call that a tartare. Nice and interesting flavor combinations from the Iron Chef.
5 minutes to go.
5 minutes remaining in Kitchen Stadium. Corn on sous chef Jessica's side. That's just going to go into a pan, a little pan fried there, I guess. The chocolate tamale is being plated with the pork loin with those flambéed peaches on top. So 2 different Mexican chocolate applications are there. The sweet and the savory should go very well together. Nice. It looks good.
Time, please.
3 minutes to go.
Chef Medino has a molinillo there. That is a traditional turned wood whisk, which is used to froth traditional hot chocolate. You roll it between your hands, and it does a pretty gosh darn good job of frothing things up. And now he's hooching up his Mexican hot chocolate.
Shop.
1 minute to go.
60 seconds remaining. If it's going to be on a plate here at Kitchen Stadium, it needs to be. And then another chocolate mixture going on top of that.
This is the chocolate atole.
Chocolate atole. Just like I thought, we're going to have chocolate drink applications on both sides of Kitchen Stadium. Back on Chef Medina's side, he's got his Mezcal Spike hot chocolate going in his panna cotta, so both hot and cold on that plate.
This is sauté scallop with tamal de olla. We have put some chocolate on it. And then on top it has a little bit of chocolate, bacon, pico de gallo. So enjoy. Well, we braise some pork shoulder and pork belly in chiles and chocolate and some spices. That is also glazed with some chocolate manchamanteles, which is traditional Mexican sauce, make mole sauce. I create this mole with 5 different types of chiles. We have some panna cotta made out of Mexican chocolate, and also I have this hot chocolate my grandfather used to make too.
It feels and looks like an offering for the gods. It's magnificently balanced.
Yeah.
Okay, so for your first course, we have 2 different types of tartares that Mexican chocolate is incorporated in. So we've made a Mexican chocolate linguine served with smoked duck. To your left, you have a Mexican chocolate tamale. And then to your right, we have a Mexican chocolate crusted Iberian pork loin, a canela or cinnamon waffle with roasted figs that are caramelized, Mexican atole, which is a warm corn pudding topped with a little white chocolate froth.
4, the Challenger's dynamic dishes.
This is pure decadence.
Chef Medina. Iron Chef Garces. The judges have spoken. And by a very, very, very narrow margin, the winner is Iron Chef Garces.
Just managed to top the tantalizing tastes of the Challenger's cookery.